with the tour, let's get oriented. For this tour, you will be needing to share your thoughts, feelings, and intentions in the material viewed. Determine the meaning of the poem "The Man with a Hoe" through picture analysis and relate it to real-life situations. In this tour, you will be seeing different masterpieces and collections all over the continents. Specifically, we are going to visit these galleries. Are you excited? We have the Eyewitness Gallery, Where Art Thou Gallery, Unchained the Chain Gallery, La Poema Gallery, Picture Talk Gallery, Social Picture Gallery, but unfortunately, the last gallery is still closed, and that is the Take the Stand Gallery. Can you help me to unveil that gallery?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Are you guys excited to unveil that gallery?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so without further ado, let's start the tour. For us, for you to able to see the masterpiece in the Take a Stand Gallery, in order for us to reveal the said gallery, what we should have to do is we have to remove all the pieces of chains, not in this hand. So are you up, guys, for the challenge?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so if you were able to help me unlock the said gallery, you will be receiving a free ticket for the museum virtual show. So what are you waiting for? Let's start now the tour. Let's begin with the Eyewitness Gallery. Alright, so that is for our first exhibit, and I'm going to be giving you our task sheet for this museum. Once again, you are going to watch a 5-minute video clip and you are going to answer the questions later. So here are the questions that you have to answer. Okay, number 1, what is the video clip all about? What have you observed with the people in the video? Based on the video you have watched, what do you think is forced labor? Number 4, what do you feel for the people who are forced to work and why? And last question, what have you discovered and realized after watching the video? So again, these are the questions that you have to answer later. Let us now have the video clip. answer the questions. For number 1, what is the video clip all about? Anybody from the class? Yes, sir, Richard. Richard.
Okay, the video clip is all about forced labor experienced by fishermen in the Philippines.
Alright, very good. So as you can see in the video, it talks about forced labor. Specifically, it deals with the fishermen here in the Philippines. How about question number 2? What have you observed with the people in that video? Yes, Angie?
They are just willing to accept the situations they are into because of poverty.
Alright, and as you can see, as you have observed, thank you so much for your answer, Angie, very good. And as you observe in the video, the people there are very hardworking, right?
Yes.
And they are somehow kind of look exhausted because of their work. Okay, let's proceed with question number 3. Based on the video you have watched, what do you think is forced labor? Can you define what forced labor is? Yes? Malin?
Forced labor is when you are forced or to work or to offer a service, which is and they are not giving you the proper payment for that.
Alright, very good. So forced labor is when you're forced to render your service even though you are not even
If it is against your will.
yes, no, and sometimes against your will. Very good. Next question. What do you feel for the people who are forced to work and why? So what do you feel about them? Yes, Belle.
I feel pity to the people who are forced to work because they were not given the choice to do what they want to do, and they have not given proper compensation and the things that they deserve for the work that they do.
Precisely. I feel pity for them. And last question. What have you discovered and realized after watching the video? Yes, Angie.
That there are people who experience forced labor here in the Philippines.
Definitely. There are lots of people who are experiencing forced labor, not just only in our country, but also in other parts of the world. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, just like in our society, you're correct, there are people who are fortunate enough to work without being forced. But also there are some people who are forced to work. There you have it. So we have just finished the first. I know you have enjoyed the first exhibit, aren't you?
Yes.
As what I have said a while ago, we can relate this in our society. Right?
Yes.
That there are people who are fortunate enough to work without being forced, but there are also people who are actually forced to work. Not just like the next exhibit we are going to enter. Are you now excited to see the next exhibit?
Yes.
Alright, let's proceed. Right, we are now here in the second exhibit, and you are about to see the painting Laho Alaho by John Francois Millet. And for us to have information about the painting, let's watch this video. Now, I want you to examine the painting closely. Right? And let us try to answer the questions. Number 1, what do you notice about the man? What do you notice about his pose? How about his facial expression? Anybody? Yes, Angie.
I noticed that the man looks very tired in the picture.
Yes, indeed. You're right. His flat-jawed mouth and the way he leans on the hoe make him look so tired. How about question number 3? Again, look closely in this painting. Observe the background and the way the man dressed up. What do you think is the man's job? Yes, Richard.
I think he is a farmer.
Precisely, he is a farmer. Yes, his clothing looks plain and appropriate for working in a field. He is most likely a farmer, to be exact. He is a brutalized worker in the depths of the feudal lord. There you have it! Now, I'd like you to accomplish the graphic organizer based on your observation on the picture being shown. So at this point, kindly accomplish this graphic organizer by completing the column. So in the first column, we're going to write here the words that you can connect with the painting. For the second column, this reminds me of what? On questions in your mind. Now, I'm going to be giving you 3 minutes to accomplish the graphic organizer. Talk now about your answers. Okay, in the first column, what does it remind you upon seeing the painting? Yes, Angie.
Words that I can connect as social injustice. This reminds me of the people who are not given fair treatment, especially in terms of jobs. Questions in my mind is, why do these people have to experience this kind of hardship?
Okay, thank you so much. So, here in the first column, you can say, of course, the words that you can connect with. Yeah, social injustice. Or it could be also poverty, or corruption, or labor, forced labor, or hard work. And this reminds me of
the people who
are experiencing
or not given fair treatment, especially in jobs.
Alright, or shall we say, people who are experiencing social injustice, right? Okay, and then the questions that are coming into your mind.
Why do these people experience this kind of hardship?
Yeah, why do these people experiencing this kind of hardship? If I'm going to be giving my question, would be, what would be the government can do to avoid such problem, or to eradicate such problem, to address this kind of problem? Okay, I think we're done with that. Now, let's talk about the poet. What do you think was the poet's inspiration in writing the poem, The Man with the Hoe? But before we answer that question, let us meet first the poet. Do you know who the poet is? The Man with the Hoe is a poem written by Charles Edward Anson Markham was born on 1852 and died on 1940. He used the pen name Edward Markham. He was an American school teacher. The poem The Man with the Hoe was published in 1899. This was written at a time when workers in the United States had few protections and rights. The poem bolded critics of the exploitations of laborers by a capitalistic, profit-driven society. Now, going back to my question, what do you think is the inspiration of the poet in writing the poem? What do you think? It is the painting La Hoe à la Hoe by Jean-Francois Millet. Yes, you heard it right. That is the inspiration of Edwin Markham. Okay, that's why this poem makes an ekphrasis. And what do we mean by ekphrasis? An ekphrasis is a poem which is actually being inspired by an artwork. So therefore, this poem is an example of ekphrasis. That's a trivia. There you have it! Let's now proceed to, this time we're going to play a game entitled Unchain the Chain. If you have your internet connection, you can go to this link But if you don't have internet connection, we have our task sheets. You can answer your task sheet. Okay, so let's have the lacking of difficulties. Alright, it's right, so let's start. Others often distort issues to suit their purposes. What do you think is the meaning of the word distort? A. Balance. B. Explain. Or C. Twist.
C.
Yes, Greece.
Letter C, please.
Letter C. Let us see if her answer is correct. Great! Your answer is correct. Let's proceed with the second one. God has dominion over all of creation. Dominion means A. Control. B. Jury. C. Right. Yes, Angie.
The answer is A, control.
The answer is letter A, control. Let's see. Correct! Let's proceed with question number 3. Bare narrow trees are important when summer is near. Important means A. Announcement. B. Indication. Or C. Significant. Yes, Richard.
Letter B, indication.
Letter B, indication. Correct! And next question, please. Despite society's and government censure and the drug abuse, there are still many users and pushers. Censure means A. Full commitment. B. Favorable action. Or C. Strong disapproval. Yes, Belle.
Is it letter C?
Letter C. Let's see the answer. You're correct. Okay, and for the last question. AIDS is a dreaded disease because it is immedicable. What do we mean by the word immedicable? Is it A. Contagious? B. Incurable? Or C. Painful? Yes, Vivian. Letter B, let's see. Okay, correct. You got it right. You got a perfect score. With that, are the questions that you have to answer? These are the questions that you have to ponder on. Number 1, what is the meaning of the man or the image of the man with the hoe? How does the poet describe it? The second question, what does the bent body of the man with the hoe signify? Number 3, according to the poet, who is responsible for the condition or state of the man with the hoe? And number 4, as a child of the future, how you would respond to this question? How will the future reckon with this man posed by the persona? So note your answers to your journal, to your task sheets, and be ready to share your answers later. Are you now ready to read the poem?
already tired
Yeah, the man
and in despair.
is already
Tired and in despair.
tired.
Of the situation that he was in.
Okay, how about number 3? According to the poet, who is responsible for the condition or state of the man with the hoe? Malin.
According to the poet, the one responsible for the condition of the man in the home are the landlords.
Very good.
Or,
These are the landlords or the masters or rulers in all lands. And these people refer to those wealthy and privileged people. Okay, and last question. As a child of the future, how would you respond to this question? How will the future reckon with this man? Posed by the persona. Yes, Belle.
As a child of the future, how would you respond to the question? How will the future reckon with this man? I think the future is not yet very clear to this man because the issue about this forced labor in our society and in the society in general is not yet answered. There is no concrete answer to how it is going to be resolved. So it is very unclear. The future is still very unclear.
Yes, very good. And meaning to say, this thing is really happening, right? Even in the future, perhaps there's this certain circumstance is still happening. Okay, very good. At this point, let's proceed now to the next point. We are going to have a group activity. And for us to know what stanza are you going to work at, let's have the group wheel. So for group 1, you will be working on stanza number 4. For group 2, you will be working on stanza number. Alright, you will be working on stanza number 3. For group 3, you will be working on stanza number 2. And for group 4, you will be working on stanza number 1. And the last group will be working on stanza number 5. Okay? So again, each group will be given a link for their Google slide and for their PowerPoint presentation. So let's have group 1 or stanza number 1. So these are the questions that you have to answer. How do you think the speaker of the poem feels about the man with the hoe? What do you think the speaker means when he describes the man as showing the emptiness of ages in space? And number 3, what do you think the speaker of the poem refers to the man as a brother to the ox? Okay, so this is your link. This is your link for the Google site that you have to work on. If you can also scan the QR code now for you to go to the website or to the link. For group 2, this is the question that you are going to work on. In the poem, what does God intended him to be? For group 3, the man with the hoe is a slave of the wheel of labor symbolized. And number 2, what is meant by the line, what to him are Plato and the swing of Pleiades? For group 4, for your question, who is being called on in the 4th stanza? And for group 5, what does the word future with a capital letter symbolize? And last question would be, what is the message of this stanza? So again, you are going to work on with your group mates. Okay? And you have 10 minutes to answer that. But since we don't have any time anymore, yes, you will be working online. Okay, but for those who don't have any internet connection, the task sheets are also provided. Okay? Alright, now, let me now explain to you the ideas being presented in each stanza. Okay, for stanza number 1, to sum it up, in this stanza, the poem describes the burden of the and the miserable condition of the laborer because of the cruelty of his master. Okay? For stanza number 2, it talks about, this one, it illustrated the contradiction of situations wherein the laborer should live freely and pursue his dream, but in fact, lives with a terrible fear because of the masters and the rulers in all lands. For number 3, in this stanza, the poem conveys that there is a big difference between the laborer who suffered and the ruler who lived in happiness and wealth. For stanza number 4, the speaker mocks the masters to fix their mistakes and stop their cruelty because God created humans not to act against their will. And for stanza number 5, in this stanza, the speaker conveys an anger tone to the master. He believes that there will be a judgment day in the future. Now, the Take a Stand Gallery. So let's have the next exhibit, which is the Social Picture Gallery. Alright, can you now tell me who are the modern men and women with hope? Definitely, the modern man in the poem pertains to those workers who gave so much effort for their work and are being abused by their employers. For an instance, they are being not compensated properly for their services. Can you guess who the pictures are? Or who the modern men and women with hope based on the picture?
Nurses.
So we have in this picture, okay, definitely we have the nurses or the medical frontliners. Now, in this picture, they are asking for salary increase. Due to this pandemic, most of our nurses are exhausted and have to work overtime. Truly, we can compare them to man with a hoe. How about the second picture? Sets of pictures. These are, yes, the overseas Filipino workers. I'm sure you will agree with me that just like the man with the hoe, some of them experience abuse from their employers. Others are over-fatigued, and in worst cases, some are unjustly murdered. And lastly, how about this one? Very good. So this picture is definitely the best personification of the man with a hoe. Our local farmers, wherein they are expressing their distress on the implementation of the rice tariffication law. No? Due to the massive rice importation, the prices of local rice has dramatically dropped. So these are just some of the modern men and women with hope. But definitely there are lots of modern day men and women with hope. We are going to unveil, since we have unlocked, we are now going to unveil the last gallery, the Take a Stand. Okay, so you are going to explain this quotation by Edwin Markham. According to him, to throw oneself to the side of the oppressed is the only dignified thing to do in life. Any volunteer? Yes, Richard, and kindly connected to the poem that we have discussed today.
I think it's all about empathy.
Alright, very good. Empathy, it's all about empathy because the poem actually depicts social issues, right? That we still face nowadays. So, as a student or as a member of the society, let us strive harder to express empathy and extend any help possible to our modern day men and women with hope. Just like with Edwin Markham says, again, to throw oneself to the side of the oppressed is the only dignified thing to do in life. This saying also reminds us that although the concept of truth and justice seems irrelevant to most people today, there is a certain truth to the eternal struggle between good and evil. With that, we have completed all. That was our last exhibit on your personal tour of the museum. We hope you've enjoyed the experience. Now, let us see if you have fully enjoyed the tour. Let us proceed to the Great Hall of Understanding. Please go to the link provided for you to answer the question. Okay, there you have it. Thank you so much once again for visiting our museum. Till next time. Because of that, you will be receiving free tickets for our museum virtual show. Hope you got to visit again. And for your exit tickets, you will be working on this social lens infographic. This is the rubric layout for the design, content, and representation. Just see the rubric. This social lens infographic, if you're going to visit next time, submit it for us to include that in our collection. With that, once again, thank you for coming to Musée de Literature.